Since I started explaining the story of Black Wukong, I've deliberately avoided talking too much about Journey to the West, because I believe that a truly great game shouldn't require players to study external materials to understand it. On the contrary, a good game should teach players something beyond the game itself through the gameplay experience. A well-designed game lowers the barrier for players to acquire certain knowledge, rather than demanding that they possess such knowledge beforehand. Chapters 1 and 3 of Black Wukong undeniably achieve this. You don't need to know anything about Journey to the West to clearly understand the story as you play. Of course, you might still have questions, but even with them, you can grasp what these 2 chapters are about. However, the chapter I'm about to discuss, Chapter 5, is a textbook example of how not to do this. If you haven't read Journey to the West, you'll find it nearly impossible to understand the plot. This isn't your fault. It's the fault of the game's writers. They failed to consider that Journey to the West is not a widely known book outside of China. And even within China, many people struggle to understand the way this chapter presents its story. Expecting players to read a novel before playing a game is, in my view, an unnecessary form of cultural arrogance. I'll explain the plot of Chapter 5 in the simplest terms possible. Let's start with the final cutscene. The first thing we see is a pig, a 2-headed pig, to be exact. This imagery comes from Chinese mythology, where a pig with 2 heads, each thinking independently and pulling in different directions, ultimately goes nowhere. This symbolizes people who are indecisive, constantly second-guessing themselves and achieving nothing. Here, the 2-headed pig is used to mock the Bull King. In this scene, the bosses from the previous chapters gather to share Wukong's corpse. The Bull King was part of the group that defeated him. As Wukong lay dying, he spoke his final words, which, along with the images that followed, became a nightmare for anyone unfamiliar with Journey to the West, practically incomprehensible. To make sense of it, I've reorganized the cutscene's fragmented storytelling into chronological order.
Wretched boy, your luck plagues your every step. Never have you made a good choice.
This scene takes place 1,000 years before we reach Flaming Mountain, long before Tong Sonzong, the protagonist of Journey to the West, was even born. Back then, Wukong and the Bull King were young and rebellious. They became sworn brothers and fought against the Heavenly Court together. This was the Bull King's first battle against the Heavenly Court, and it ended with Wukong's defeat. The Buddha imprisoned Wukong under a mountain, sentencing him to 500 years of confinement.
Your reluctance is plain, just like my own. They forced me to drink from the river of childbearing, to bear that boy in my womb. If not for that monkey, we could have lived our separate lives in peace. As if none of this had happened.
After Wukong's defeat, the Bull King fled to Flaming Mountain. In an attempt to win him over, the Heavenly Court arranged for him to marry Rakshasi. However, before the marriage, she was forced to conceive a child from the Yaksha clan Red Boy. The boss of this chapter. Yakshas are swift, man-eating demons. They had fought alongside Wukong and the Bull King against the Heavenly Court, but were ultimately exterminated. The only surviving Yaksha was placed in Rakshasi's womb by the Heavenly Court as a means of controlling the Bull King. If the Bull King remained loyal to the Heavenly Court, no one would ever know about his cowardice in fleeing after the Yaksha clan's extermination. But if he rebelled, Red Boy would become a ticking time bomb by his side. A quick note about the river of childbearing. In Journey to the West, women can become pregnant by drinking its water without needing a man's involvement.
trouble.
500 years after Bull King's battle against the Heavenly Court, Wukong is freed by Tong Sonzong and embarks on the journey to the west. Upon arriving at Flaming Mountain, they find it impossible to pass due to the eternal flames engulfing the land. There, they encounter the now grown Red Boy, who is unaware of his true lineage. Seeking to grant Bull King immortality, Red Boy captures Tong Sonzong without permission. After several battles, Red Boy is ultimately defeated by Wukong, who then calls upon Guanyin Bodhisattva to take Red Boy away as her attendant. In the aftermath, Princess Rakshasi, albeit reluctantly, agrees to hand over the fan, allowing Wukong to pass through Flaming Mountain. At this point, Wukong tells Bull King, "Find a master and sever the right. It's the only path left for the likes of us. Don't you understand, brother?" From Wukong's perspective, having been imprisoned for 500 years, he knows that the Heavenly Courts will inevitably seek revenge against him and Bull King for their past rebellion. Red Boy is not Bull King's biological son, and keeping him nearby is a constant risk. By returning this time bomb planted by the Heavenly Court to its source, Wukong eliminates a potential threat to Bull King. Similarly, Bull King's concubine, a low-born Yaogui like the spider Yaogui from the previous chapter, could easily be used by the Heavenly Court as leverage against Bull King. By removing her, Wukong believes he is helping Bull King. If Bull King yields and allows Wukong and Tong Sonzong to leave Flaming Mountain, he would, in essence, be aiding the Heavenly Court to sever the right. However, unlike Wukong, who endured his imprisonment alone, Bull King spent those 500 years with his family Rakshasi, his concubine, and Red Boy. Though he had already chosen to compromise, Wukong's actions dragged him back into conflict. Having long accepted Red Boy as his own son, Bull King is furious when his family is shattered, prompting him to declare war on Wukong and the Heavenly Court. Unfortunately, Bull King is ultimately overpowered by Neza. In the battle, Neza decapitates Bull King, but he does not die. Many years later, as the game Black Wukong begins, after Wukong is defeated, Guanyin releases Red Boy and reveals Yaksho's true identity. This leads to the scene where Red Boy demands Wukong's artifact from Bull King to seek vengeance against the Heavenly Court for his people. By this time, Bull King is physically weakened and refuses to surrender Wukong's artifact, not only out of loyalty, but also to protect Red Boy, knowing he is no match for the Heavenly Court. After all these events, the Destined One finally arrives at Flaming Mountain, marking the true beginning of the story. The mountain is now in Chaos Keeper has summoned revenants, engaging in fierce combat with Bull King's forces. Meanwhile, Red Boy, once Bull King's most formidable warrior, is recklessly escalating the turmoil his quest to obtain Wukong's artifact. At the entrance, we encounter Stalwart, who informs us that Red Boy possesses 5 carts, initially gifted by Bull King on his birthday, and later infused with spiritual energy by Red Boy, making them formidable adversaries. Stalwart asks for our help in dealing with them. As we proceed, we hear a cry for help. Red Boy has transformed into his sister, Pingping, attempting to gain our trust and manipulate us into aiding him, deceiving Bull King to obtain the artifact. Guarding this area are Red Boy's subordinates, quick as fire and fast as wind. According to their profiles, they belong to the Falling Head clan, a race whose members can survive even after being decapitated. These two were executed for breaking the law, yet their detached heads flew to the mountains, where they pledged allegiance to Red Boy. In fact, all of Red Boy's subordinates in this chapter embody a similar dark humor. After rescuing the disguised Pingping, she urges us to hurry to Bull King's side, claiming he's gravely ill. However, with Flaming Mountain engulfed in flames, we must first borrow the plantain fan from Princess Rakshasi. According to the profile, Pingping is the daughter of Bull King and his concubine, Princess Fairfox, making her Red Boy's sister. Red Boy's strained relationship with Bull King has escalated to the point of near hostility over the artifact.
I am the Bull King's daughter, Pingping.
Oh, nonsense! The bull has no daughter. Dare to fool me, scoundrel!
I know who you are. My mother is Princess Fairfox. You killed her. After my mother died, I've been living with my father. His wife, Princess Rakshasi, took me in as her own. Later, brother came back from Bodhisattva Guanyin, and we reunited. We had some peaceful days. My brother was kind to me and to our parents. But somehow, not long ago, he suddenly changed. He secretly summoned his old troops for a coup, imprisoned father, kept mother under strict watch. I had nowhere else to turn. I had to go for help. But barely after leaving the place, his minions fell upon me.
The Bull King's might is known. Even together, Wukong and I couldn't rival him. Rakshasi's plantain fan is also formidable. And you want me to believe that they were subdued by a kid?
Subdued by their son. Who else could make them put their guard down? Really, with soft hearts, they could never harm him.
You idiot! This fox is fooling you!
Look at this place! Only my brother's Samadhi fire could wreak such havoc! Oh no. My father is dying. Please, kind monkey, help me and my family!
One day, while playing in the mountains, Red Boy asks Pingping how his martial arts skills compare to their father's. Instead of answering, she simply says, "I just want to live peacefully in these mountains, away from worldly strife." Red Boy, staring at the crimson sky, responds, "There's no such thing as living away from worldly strife. It's just the self-deception of losers." As we follow the disguised Pingping to borrow the plantain fan, we encounter Tianba, whom we had previously met in earlier chapters. According to his profile, Tianba is Bull King's most loyal subordinate. Watching his master's health decline and flaming mountain descend into chaos, he set out alone to seek reinforcements, but returned empty-handed. Through profile, we learn that he has destroyed one of Red Boy's carts, and is now on the verge of death. His dying wish is for us to defeat the Keeper, so his soul can find peace.
Since when did you start caring for that old bull? Do not think you can hide your secret wish from me. You wish you could rule this mountain with your brother once we are finished.
If you won't act, Mother, then I implore you to lend me your plantain fan to save Father.
Words from cunning foxes. You just want to trade my fan for a smile on your brother's face.
I owe my life to Father, and to your kindness for taking me in. Brother was good to me, but I would never betray my parents for him.
Say no more of the fan. We raised the boy. Guess this is what we deserve. But you... why are you here at this very moment?
Rakshasi, I'm not a part of your family, and I'm aware I have no voice in this. But Ping told me the Destined One had arrived.
The Destined One, who doesn't even know what he's destined for. Those old bastards must have pulled a muscle coming up with the name.
You and I both know who he truly is. When the time comes, your children, your husband, and even this very palace could all turn to ashes.
What do I have to fear from a mere pawn? He's no match for us. He can't even rival the power of my fan.
Once the truth is revealed, suddenly he is here. Do you not find it odd? Such a twist of fate.
The truth? The truth of what? Who are you talking about?
I heard the Destined One had obtained all the other relics. Rakshasi, your situation is grave. Do you not see who mandated his return? Were those relics really bestowed for your good? Perhaps amid these schemes and plots, we've unwittingly become stepping stones for his rebirth. For others, I care not. All along, you are all I care for. I say we should leave together. I vow to treasure you dearly, just like when we're up there.
I never thought that one day you'd be the only one I can rely on. I am overwhelmed. Come, sit with me, and tell me what to do.
Don't let him, Mother! Don't you see? He's taking advantage of you! You lecher! I called for your help, not your treachery! How dare you!
A child of a concubine should know better manners. When I first crossed paths with her, your bull of a father was no more than livestock, munching on a patch of grass.
Have you no shame? Mother, don't be fooled!
Enough of your endless prattle. Now, that's better. Rakshasi, have we not been this close since our time in Tushita Palace?
Well, yes, I do miss the old days too. We were so happy back then.
What in the blazes?
No tricks here. It's just my hoof. You deserve to know before we kiss.
You will live to repent this! Filthy lowlife! You dare take her form and beguile me!
My old friend, wasn't it fun? Have we not been this close since our carnage in the fox den?
You abhorrent fraud! My candid words were wasted on your foul ears!
Candid my hoof! Your revenants are everywhere! I thought you'd have better lies! Quick on your heels, huh? Well then, boy, let us teach this brazen adulterer a lesson!
Vile beast! Your savagery knows no cure! But you will behave once my sourceless water from Tushita drops. I've aided your...
According to the profile, the Keeper was once Princess Rakshasi's junior apprentice. During Wukong's battle with the Heavenly Court, Wukong kicked over his alchemy furnace. As punishment, the Keeper's master banished him to the mortal realm, where he eventually became the current Keeper. Over the centuries, he secretly harbored feelings for Princess Rakshasi, and now, taking advantage of Bull King's weakness, he summons revenants to disrupt Flaming Mountain, hoping to elope with Rakshasi. In their conversation, it becomes clear that the Heavenly Court was behind revealing Red Boy's true lineage, orchestrating events from the shadows all along. Unlike the previous chapter's gentle-natured keepers, this one is the most powerful of them all. According to his profile, in his quest to collect mortal will for the Heavenly Court, he has orchestrated multiple large-scale massacres throughout history.
Disasters are sure to follow. The turmoil you witness is but a ripple caused by a drop from above.
After defeating the Keeper, we once again encounter Red Boy in Pingping's form. She claims to have found the plantain fan, allowing us to finally meet Bull King. Despite his frail state, Bull King instantly recognizes Red Boy's disguise. Seeing his plan exposed, Red Boy drops the act and attacks us. Notably, before our battle, the fleeing Keeper has already been slain by Red Boy. Although Rakshasi was actually Jew Baji in disguise, the keeper's lecherous demeanor enraged Red Boy, prompting him to kill the keeper and seize his holding breath spell. This allows him to feign death and deceive us, swallowing the artifact and initiating a second fight. Despite the fragmented nature of Chapter 5's storyline, this battle is intense and well executed.
You are your choices, causes and effects, not what you're called.
Thanks to this false death talisman. Poor keeper. Seems his legacy was his only offer after all.
Still holding on, despite it all. Does your vengeance weigh more than your family? Spit it out now, his relic!
After Red Boy's second defeat, the real Princess Rakshasi appears. According to the profile, after learning of Red Boy's true lineage, Rakshasi, like more tianba, sought reinforcements. She turned to her master, the very one who had arranged her marriage to Bull King, hoping he would help pacify Red Boy. Instead, his response was, "I ordered you to raise a child, but I did not ask you to be a true mother. Let the boy stew his trouble. As long as you and your husband stay out of it, you will be safe." She also sought out the Buddha, intending to threaten him into action, but ultimately failed. No one in the heavenly court truly sympathized with Bull King and Rakshasi's desperate efforts to protect their family. As Rakshasi kneels before him, Red Boy realizes that he is not only powerless against the heavenly courts, but also unable to defeat us or reclaim the artifact. In that moment, all his ambitions and dreams of vengeance crumble. Whether a mighty demon king or a celestial being, in the eyes of those in power, they are all mere pawns. Trying to preserve one's family while resisting absolute submission to the heavenly court, this impossible dilemma is the fate that Bull King now embodies.
We will bear his punishment. If it pleases you, my plantain fan is also yours to take.
Flames have paved my way. Through flames, I shan't stray. Vain was my flame, for revenge destined to stray. Their delight lies in our submission, kneeling and begging.